So in the core, but there's a nervousness that's coming. It's in the collective or in Gaia. Everything is calm. I can feel a lot of calmness. There's seeing the electricity as well, and the electricity, the aura. So obviously I'm seeing a level of electricity. And it's kind of like the firing in the brain and what we would deem I'm just going to walk this level of nervousness. With what we spoke about earlier in the energies of the basically an awakening. So there's been huge part of consciousness is awake to the governments, is awake to a certain extent. People, loads of people are awake, but different ranges of that. But the awakening to self and the awakening to how one creates their reality is the next step. And that nervousness seems to be related to that, because that energy that has to come out, that will help people in their next stage of awakening, because it's quite small, but then it's got to bloom, right? So as I understand it now, the blooming is actually that nurturing, lovely, beautiful energy, so people can be in that and help them with their energetic system to turn towards themselves, to understand themselves, the reflective of self. Now, with the energies around and the government's falling and people showing them true colors is obviously going to happen, and that's going to help. But also on the other side, the energies that you live in and the atmosphere and the plants and the trees that radiate this core energy out, that's going to happen on a bigger scale, so that bloom. So with April was like the final trauma healing. So there's no the barrier, the aura is way stronger, and then the bloom, but the nervousness is linked to this bloom that's going to take place. And when I go into it, it's like the feeling of, it's nervousness, but there's also excitement, and also it's a belief, a full belief in self. And so when that happens and that closes, and that full belief in self, where everything frequency is, it goes, then loads of energy comes out. That's what's going to take place. And how does that look like for us in the physical reality, human beings here on Earth? What does that look like? The education on what consciousness is, who we are, the evolution, how one evolves, through the understanding how one manifests one reality, feels that there's going to be a lot of light on that subject. Like people are going to be reading up about that subject. It's going to be, there's something that's going to take place. And there's also a feeling of waiting. Now, when that subject and how one creates their own reality becomes mainstream, then the illusion of power that the governments have had completely falls altogether. There's no coming back from it, where people will realize they're looking at their governments or the system even to crash. People are awake, they're looking at the government system to crash before I can live. Well, that's a load of rubbish as well. You can live when you want to live. I wouldn't wait for something to happen in order to give yourself life, or to, oh, now I'll understand myself now. You've always had the power. The individual has always had the power all the time. the illusion that the power is outside of you is what keeps the governments and all these systems going. And that illusion of power obviously has been diminishing. And then they've obviously had to force, and force people into things, and you have to do this. And if you don't think this way, and the thought police, all these sort of things. So I do feel that there is the bloom hasn't happened, and that it will happen. But there is a nervousness, and there is a there's still some energy that has to be. She just that time. It's just time and patience. And that doesn't feel like anything else is involved. Like no attacks can take place. It's just the energy of Gaia. But I'm really nervous. Like I feel really nervous. But excited, nervous, and then that, but it will take place. And then the thing is, it's not going to be a massive leap for a lot of you guys, and it's not going to be a massive leap for you guys, because you've been learning along the way. But it's going to be massive leaps for many people. And there's still going to be people that want to fight the system, and they're fighting themselves. But the energy of Gaia, of going towards the center of her, and people have been and will be continue to mimic that energy, where so it's easier to look at self, and there's a guidance there as well. So it's an unconscious guidance of, you're here to self-evolve, you're here to understand yourself. This is not your first life, and it won't be your last life. You are never a light being that's experiencing physical reality. And yes, people will have to learn about the history of what's happened to Earth. That will be part of, and that lives within everybody. But everybody has access, that all the knowledge and understanding that you need in order to evolve is actually within you. And accessing that information will be, it's like going to be top, because when people access themselves, they also bring more light into the world. Each individual will feel more abundant, and more abundance means more light. It means more change into the physical reality. Everyone realizes that their emotional life is actually the freedom, the key to who they are, which is actually the key to changing their life, physically changing the physical reality. If you look at the light, it's like pixels all around, and every light that comes through the emotional life is it changes the physical reality around them. It brings more light to them. It's the understanding of their health, understanding of their choices. Everything becomes understood, and then the brain becomes calm when it understands. People become feel like they're on the right path because they're walking towards themselves. They're walking to the deeper parts of themselves. The energies around, as in, so I'm seeing although energies within this reality that have been taking the light like parasites off people. If it's the politicians and the religious people around the world. And with the understanding of self, people don't become slaves, they actually become empowered. And therefore the parasites, as in religion and politicians, they've got nothing to feed on. No, people are not giving their light to them anymore. They're not giving their belief and trust in them anymore. They're not hoping that they're going to change. These people will never change. They're so indebted into it, they're never going to change. So even like the watching of them fall and maybe getting in, it's entertaining kind of thing, and that will help with your belief in self and belief in what's taking place. But ultimately, there's a life after that. It's people stepping into truly why humanity is here, why humanity's always been here. Is stepping into one's own light, and one has to do that. And the more people that start to do that, the more easy it becomes for everybody. And therefore, the next step and this bloom, that's what's going to take place. It's like this knowledge. So this knowledge and understanding that everybody's important, everybody is valued, everybody has the answer. And with that, I just see lots of light, more light coming into the planet. And the parasitic people, either they stop parasiting, they can't parasite, there's nothing to parasite from because people understand their own energies. It just fades away. So how does that look into reality? It's funny because it's like the physical reality and what I see, if it's the political structure around the world and the different countries and everything, it's like I'm not seeing it. Like in the new reality, it's not separated in that way. The perception of reality completely changes. The world has been compartmentalized because the mental brain has been compartmentalized, and more areas of different areas of the world has been more important and deemed more important than others, and that is depending on who owns it and what reptilian energy owns that, and the fight over it, or the resources they've gained from it in that area. It's where it completely, there's a change in a whole perception of people because of the repi alien perception has been it kind of like leaves. If I I'm looking at the people here on Earth, and you've got the energetic structure of Mother Earth that comes through people who have their hearts open, and the trees and the plants and the ground and that energy structure. But you've also got the mental waves that people generate from the belief structures that they have about themselves. If it's low self-worth, lack of value, if it's the religious aspect, if it's the political aspect, and these create energy waves within the air. And say for instance you're a Catholic and you believe in religion and you believe the Bible through and through, and you go by that, you will connect mentally to other energy systems, to that energy system. All the people around the world, doesn't matter what country they're in, you've never met them before, but that frequency, your mind sets off because of that belief. And then all the people with that belief will join up in that energetic system. This is why people are so feel like, oh God, I'm part of a family, but it's a mental side, it's the physical side. And those frequencies all go out. So all these belief systems that the reptilians have placed in of how reality is run, what reality is, or the belief system that's poor people in the world and rich people in the world, and this is kind of normalized, and that they have the power and all these sort of things. Well, all that is going to dissolve. Therefore, people are going to feel lost at first. But the frequency of Gaia takes its place. It becomes so strong that it's not going to be traumatic for them. And the want to be close to the frequency outside of themselves will be directed to inside themselves. You have that frequency. It can radiate out of your body, but you have to look at yourself. What are you blocking within yourself? So they're not able to like skip all the healing or anything. They've still got to heal, but they're going to be around this beautiful cushion of Mother Earth, and it's going to be what's it? It's going to be easier for them. I feel jealous, really, because people have been doing it. It's been a tough time because we've had to maneuver through all the belief structures and everything like that. But with this, everything's falling. So the belief structures, from the religious belief structures, the political belief structure, all these sort of things, to it's all falling. And it will continue to fall. There's no substance in it, and the waves of frequency that comes from people's minds, they won't be connecting anymore. So the belief in itself that felt so strong, the religion, it felt so strong and so solid in their mind, when it's not connecting to somebody else that solidifies it, that helps them. Yeah, I believe in that, and you believe in that. It's going to diminish, where it's just their mind that's connecting to that belief, and it's going to be like, oh, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? So the belief of it is going to die in a very, very beautiful, powerful way. That's someone challenges someone's belief, they get really irate, because it's like an attack, not just on them, but all the people that they're connected to, and unconsciously think it's like their mental family. And they feel really irate because they also have the power of everybody in that energy system. When the energy of Gaia comes in, it dilutes all those mental frequencies, because it doesn't resonate what life is about. It's like it doesn't matter. This is rubbish. It's like a bunch of kids, you've been taught wrong, and that wrong that you've been taught, we're going to make right. Where it's all about you and your life. It's all about, and also I feel that people were able to reach their emotions so much more easily. It's going to be, it's not like they don't have to do the work. They have to do the work, but it's going to be, they're not distracted so much by the outside, because all the mental frequencies of this earth is going to, Mother Earth is going to dilute it all, because she's so much more powerful than the belief structures that have been placed in this reality. And therefore, the awakening process is going to be a lot more smoother. And this is why, which is so beautiful, nobody's left behind except the people that don't want it, that have chosen that. And I just see lines of politicians and hybrid humans to people that just don't want to go into that reality, and then that's a bye-bye to them kind of thing. But the majority of people will be here.